Deputy Prime Minister to further the OG states. Here.
Thank you, Chairperson. I would like to ventilate two issues in my speech. First of all, analysis on China. What kind of diplomatic and strategic incentive does China have right now? Secondly, the impact over the economic growth and the regional security, especially for Japan's national interests. So let's move on to the first flashpoints of this debate about the incentive and diplomatic interest of China. 4 levels of counter-analysis to what opening opposition have explained this debate. First of all, they said that Japan's will and interest will be deprioritized and systematically diluted inside the project of One Belt, One Road policy. That's not likely to happen because Japan already has a huge network based on the Southeast Asian countries and other Asian countries. Because of the ODA project, we have already historically provided to those countries. We are able to leverage those networks and the background and technology and the social infrastructure basis so that we can make a unique contribution within the project of One Side, One Belt policy. So China has strategic incentive to listen to our will and a strategic suggestion and advisory from our historical perspective, leverage of this kind of connection. That's the one is tangible incentive for China. Secondly, their analysis is that current the leader of China has incentive to prioritize nationalism because it's necessary to show the strong leadership. In order to show the strong leadership, showing the tangible economic benefit, tangible success of the project is far more convincing rather than trying to feeling and emotion of individuals, citizens inside China. From that perspective, China has strategic incentive to include many beneficial advisory from participating countries. The analysis is there are many strategic personnel inside the US regime. Similar kind of people usually exist within the regime of China as well. They know that prioritizing the tangible cooperation will be much more convincing to gain some popularity rather than appealing to the intangible nationalism or the sense of anger historically associated with. Number 3, if China continues to oppress other participating countries, what will happen? Other signatories or other participating countries will be less cooperative. One new country will not join the project. So China does not aggressively show the antagonistic policy to reject everybody inside the project. China has strategic incentive to include every single inside as much as possible in order to expand the membership, expand the number of signatories. And that's the current tangible incentive that China has. Number 4, the abusiveness of China. Their depiction of China is like China is evil. They continue to abuse human beings, right? That's if you under your model, that kind of scenario will be exacerbated or aggravated even further. So let's make a comparison. With the participation of Japan, we are able to pressurize China to stop abusing people inside the territories. Or if the number of participants, the number of signatories increases, the chances in which China will moderate the diplomatic position will be higher. Under your paradigm, if you isolate China, you continue to de-cooperate with China, you exacerbate the kind of narrative that China can occupy the current scheme in a monopolistic way. Therefore, we believe inclusive participation or showing the narrative that anyone can join this cooperation and scheme will be beneficial to moderate China's diplomatic policy and strategy in the long term. And that's our counter strategy. Moving on to the second class about the impact on regions and economic growth. Before moving on to the point, do you have any point of information? I'll take it later anyway. I will force you to stand up anyway. So moving on to my final part of the analysis. Full counter-analysis, full analysis about how our policy will be much better compared to other methods of economic growth. First of all, current scheme is not enough. Current ODA is not enough. We are already providing ODA to respective countries, but that is not enough. Why? Imagine one country receives ODA from Japan and other countries as well. If the other countries increase the amount of investment, the amount of money that we are paying will come relatively smaller, and therefore our power influence over those Asian countries will get lower gradually when those recipient countries receive money and capital from other countries as well. Therefore, what we need is organized and more macro-strategically structuralized scheme to enhance our influence or interventional power into these Asian countries. So One Belt, One Policy is much better because we are able to gain and take part in the more macro strategic level of tactics in each nation. The current ODA scheme is very fragmented or disorganized. There's no interconnectivity between ODA in one country and other countries. We are able to connect all those schemes and reintegrate them. That increases the efficiency of each project. Let's say construction of a hospital, construction of water and electricity pipeline, and constructions of other transportation mechanisms. All those different fragmented projects will get reintegrated into one project, and that kind of integration accelerates efficiency and the likelihood of success. Second of all, with the macro-strategic organized scheme, it's much easier for Japanese corporations to enter the countries. There are many Japanese countries that are currently struggling with expanding the enterprises, but those countries are able to join the One Belt, One Policy. Thus, they can expand the businesses. For example, Itochu or Mitsubishi Shoji or natural resources company like Idemitsu or Nikki, or those are the kind of corporations that are able to hugely benefit from participation on these projects because they are able to reconnect their different subsidiaries or branches into one macro strategic cooperation level. They can share the information inside the projects about which market is lucrative and which market is dangerous, which market is appropriate for one country to connect it with other similar interests with other participating countries of One Belt, One Policy. And that kind of tangible benefit exists on our side of the house. Number three, transportation procuring. In order for Japan to sustainably grow economically, we need to procure sea lane, for example, or the safe avenue to export and import natural resources or other substances. That's the basic for all industries inside Japan. Under the current status quo, it's becoming difficult and more difficult to procure the safe and secure sea lane or other transportation avenue for basic conveyance of materials for economic industries. And that kind of things will all be more possible and feasible under the participation. Finally, financial compensation from Japan tangibly increases the chance and success, likelihood of success, because the money or capital we pay will be used for transportation of public conveyance, electricity, water, or the construction of infrastructure and natural resources. All those the benefit that we pay will tangibly benefit Asian countries rather than ODA. This is the important part of historical compensation for the injustices that we committed during the World War II. And that's how we compensate for those injustices in the past. So for all these reasons, we are happy to propose. Thank you.